Well, good morning, friends. We have got ourselves a beautiful shot of the plaza right now. There's Brush Creek, a little less ice on there compared to where we were a couple of days ago. We had a nice warm up yesterday that helped melt some of that ice. Now we're trying to reform it again as we deal with exceptionally cold conditions for this morning. It is a first warn that we're tracking here. So I want you to be prepared for those kind of winter-like weather patterns that we typically would see somewhere around the end of January. Well, that's going to be for today. So bundle up, layer up. Good morning to you. First Warn 5 meteorologist Greg Bennett here. Man, do we got some cold weather out there. I mean, seriously, the coldest conditions we have seen so far this season, and something that we would typically see somewhere between the end of January and the beginning of February. This is cold, cold stuff that we're talking about, and I want to get involved with it on the three most important things that you need to know about today just in general. It is so cold outside this morning that we have a hypothermia threat out there, right? That means if you expose yourself to these elements, the potential of hypothermia is high. Gusts getting up to 25 miles per hour through the mid-morning could introduce feel-like temperatures in negative values. You heard me right, negative temperatures for feel-like temperatures for the metro. We've already seen it to some of our local areas just to the north of us, closer to around Cameron, Bethany, and around the Maryville area. Less wind for this afternoon, but the cold weather is still out there, right? So what we're talking about is layering up during your morning. Do not head out the door without being, engrossed, I guess, embodied, however you want to call it, with obviously your jackets, your sweaters. Layers is a wise choice. Scarf isn't a bad idea. Keeping those ears, your nose, your mouth, your chin, that kind of stuff, where you really lose a lot of body heat quickly. Those are the areas that you want to cover up. I feel like I'm about to sneeze, so I apologize if I do, literally live on our live stream here. -2 to 8 degrees is what I'm calling for the range of feel-like temperature. Goodness. Guess there's still a little bit of dust in the studio here. Let's go ahead and talk about these feel-like temperatures out the door currently. I'm going to see if I could find those for you because they're all over the place. Pardon me. Here it is, wind chills now. I'm going to pop this up. Do you want to work without a lock? Yes, I do want to work. It's perfect timing, unfortunately, that our Max system here that has all of our weather graphics that we build up has to be updated at certain times of the day, and it looks like this might be the day that it has to be updated. So I'm trying to get this moving for you so we could actually show you different graphics here. Here we go. We're back online. And we're going to pop this up for you just to show you what we're dealing with out the door. Again, feel-like temperatures is what we're about to show you here, all right? And we're talking -2. -2 degrees. That's your feel-like temperature. I told you we were going to get there, and we got there. -3 off around Cameron. Bethany coming in at -4 right now. We've got 0 to Atchison. I mean, you're seeing it just as much as I'm seeing it here right now. And it has a lot to do with the wind that we've been dealing with. The gusts getting up to about 25 miles per hour for us. What's the actual air temperature out the door? Let's talk about that right now. 14 degrees. Within 17 hours, we have dropped 41 degrees from yesterday afternoon. 41 degrees. That's a lot. That's something that you would typically see in like Denver, Colorado, because they're so close to the Rockies, and those storm systems during the winter will have you bumping up to about the upper 60s and low 70s. But when they pass over and bring in that cold air, especially running right off the mountains, they tend to drop like 50 degrees the next day. That's what we're dealing with here, something that Denver, Colorado would see. Wild, wild stuff. So cold weather, dangerous weather. Again, we've been talking about that. The good news is, check out your weekend. Don't you love those colors? Oranges and yellows, they're warm, wholesome. It is true, they are warm. They're above average, 10 to 15 degrees. That's the plus here for our Sunday forecast. It does bring in a little bit of wind, for sure. We do have some gusty conditions before the game, but I think we could take that, no problem, when it means we're talking temperatures near 60 degrees. So definitely a plus there. Now, I'm going to bring in the Security Bank 7-day forecast, because we have an update to Tuesday. And let me get myself out of the way here because I'm going to be blocking it for you. So hold on. All right, back to it. Just the 7-day forecast. I've got it down to 30%. Still a first warning. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and talk about this. I'm going to bring up the regional data prediction model run. This is the European model that we're going to look at. And we're going to take it through Monday, a lot of cloud cover. There's the storm system. There's Tuesday now. Maybe a flake or two and hefty cloud cover. Now, the same thing could be said for even our American model run, the GFS model run. So, hold your horses here, friends. Let me bring myself up. Why do I have a 30% and a first warning for winter weather still on Tuesday when I've got both of our extended forecast models saying there's no snow? This is why. The storm system that we're dealing with is teetering on the edge of being impactful or not being impactful at all. So basically, my hand right here, this is us, the Missouri River Valley. This is the storm system. Okay? If I tilt this way, it means we're going to be seeing a whole lot of snowfall. If we tilt this way, this means we're going to see absolutely nothing. And right now we're just going back and forth with our models, and the data is going, we're so on the edge here. But you know what? We're going to say we're edging a little bit closer to this, which is we may not see anything at all, right? So that's what we're dealing with. The atmosphere and the speed of this storm system, where it wants to orient itself, is constantly changing, and minor tweaks. But over time, that minor tweak becomes a big tweak. And that's what we're dealing with right now. We're in these minor tweaks, and whether it tweaks in one direction or the other, we may have a decent amount of snow. We may not have anything at all. But right now, over the past 9 hours, we've had consistency in our forecast data of starting to see a drier pattern. This is why we've come off the rain chance, but we're not ready to call it quits on this storm system because we're still on that edge. So we still want you to be prepared for something to occur. But if we get more time, more new information, and more consistency in this forecast, it's more or less likely that will lift the first warning and the percentages for any kind of precipitation, okay? So we're moving in the right direction, which is great, but we're not letting our guard down here in the First Warn 5 Weather Center, which is why we still have that first warning up in that 30%. Now, Chief Meteorologist Luke Doris, he will come in and he's going to obviously check out that new information as we go all the way up to 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and that's more likely where we may see us either keep that first warning or lift it from the forecast, because we're seeing too much consistency and confidence, all right, in a drier pattern. So that's where we are currently in those weather patterns. And that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. That's basically the big things that you really need to know about as we move forward in time. I'm just happy that we're going to be out of this cold weather. Literally by tomorrow, we're just about seasonable with our temperatures. You know, yeah, it's low 40s, but we're supposed to be at an average high of 46. So we're right there, really. It's seasonably cool, but it's much better than today's forecast. And then obviously so much better for the weekend. So stay tuned with us. We're going to keep you up to date. We are very transparent when it comes to the weather and how we forecast, and we want to let you know about it. So you are just as educated as we are in what's happening around town weather-wise, all right? That's what KCTV5 and the First Warn 5 weather team is all about. With that being said, another beautiful look over the plaza. It's a sunny day. It's a clear day, but man, oh man, is it cold. If you're going to be out and about, please bundle up. Gloves will be a good idea.